live in Sweden now, and many things are very different than they have been in my life in Germany. Even the garbage is so different. I thought today I could take you along, show you some glimpses into a Swedish slow life, nature, and all the things that are so very different here than how they've been in Germany. This is our land. It's so much bigger than I could have ever dreamed of in Germany. We have no neighbors. There's no one here, or here, or here, or here. There is only meadows, fields, and forests. There is so much silence, and sometimes just a tiny bit loneliness. So at night it sometimes can be nice to see a little light through the trees. It feels like endless space. The color of the houses usually is falunröd. This outer layer of wood is treated with iron oxides, I think. Anyway, it is definitely not a common color or treatment in Germany. This is more like a powder. So when you do like this, you have this iron oxide red powder on your hands. And I love this color. Not only, of course, the color for the houses, it's very beautiful. It's so practical. It's not very expensive, but it is very durable. I think it will stay like this for many, many more years. It protects the wood very well, and especially whenever we will have to repaint something, I'll show you. Up there, you can see the color has faded a bit, but the great thing about this treatment is that you don't have to get it off before repainting. You can just paint over it. It is so simple, and this iron oxide, this falunröd, was discovered as a byproduct by copper production in Falun, more in the north of Sweden. It's a regional product. It's very traditional Swedish thing, and it's good for the wood and the houses, and I just love it. The windows are very different than in Germany. They open and close in different ways. And they actually are made of two windows with one sheet of glass put together. This is an old house, and those windows, they let through quite a bit of air. I actually really like that. It is a bit more connected to the nature outside. Also, we get our very own water from the ground. This is where our water comes from, and it goes from under here into the house. Living in Germany, I would have never thought that one day I would have to take care of my own water and wastewater as well. Just over there is where our wastewater or grey water gets cleaned and released back into the ground. And in our cellar, there is the water pump for getting us water into the house. I hope you can hear me over the dryer there, but this little thing in the wall is our water pump that gets all the water from the ground into the pipes, and from there it goes into our house. Our electrical power we do get delivered by the community directly onto our plot. This is our electricity highway. In Germany, I think most of those power lines would be buried underground, but in Sweden there are so many rocks and stones buried in the earth, so it is much more common and much easier to just put the power lines overland. And although there are some outages in summer when there's like woodworking and stuff, then trees fall on top of those lines, of course, but it is still much easier and less problematic to do it like this. I'm not a fan of the optics of that, but at least we do get electricity directly on our ground. In Germany, I would have never thought that I would have to think about how electricity is delivered to my house, but here in Sweden, everything is just a bit different. Much of the electrical power here in Sweden is being generated by water. There are many rivers and they have like very steep waterfalls, so they generate electrical power there, which is very clean. That's very nice. But it also means that in summer, electrical prices are pretty low compared to Germany. But in winter, when we need more electricity to heat the house and stuff, it gets actually a bit more expensive because the rivers just freeze and there is less water going through the generators. So that is a bit unfortunate because when we need the most electricity, it is the most expensive. But even there, with the electricity that's been provided by water, this is so connected to nature and seasons and reality of rivers freezing over and stuff. And I really like that. I think many aspects of Swedish life are in one way or another connected to nature. And that's simply so great. I love that. Let me show you the heating. We get most of our wood from our own plot, like for free, with trees that get too old, fall over, and just the big branches of the oak trees, they provide us with plenty of wood for now. I think one day we will have to start actually cutting down trees or buying wood, but for now it's just all old wood anyway. And it's just a wonderful feeling to provide your own warmth in winter. Of course, we don't only heat with wood. We have electrical heaters in every room and an air-to-air heat pump, which is great for the not so very cold days. We get our post delivered to our property as well. Letters are delivered in our letterbox, and when we get packages, we either have to collect them at a packet station, usually at a supermarket, or we get it directly here, just hung here on our letterbox. And when we do get something, we actually can hear the car of the postman or woman from very far away, because there are not many cars here. And yeah, that's nice. And because in Sweden they used to drive on the other side of the road, on the left side, the driver seated on the right side, actually many of the letterboxes still are on the right side of the street. So the people delivering the letters and stuff, they actually sit on the right side of the car, very different than in Germany. And if possible, they stay seated in the car and just put the letter directly from the car window into the letterbox. Garbage is different in every country, but in Sweden it's extra different. We have 2 garbage cans, which have each different compartments. And there is our little hang-on box. So it is very important in Sweden to get everything into the right compartment in your can. You have plastics, clear glass, metal, like food, everything else like rest, newspapers, and colored glass. And actually everything that is here you can for free bring it to a recycling station and you don't have to pay anything for it. We do pay for that it's being collected directly from our plot. Whenever we do have to run some errands, it's about a 20-minute drive to the nearest towns. We go by car, through woods, next to lakes. Although the drive isn't much longer than it was in Germany, it is through much more nature and it is such fun. Shopping is not too different from Germany. The range, of course, is a bit smaller but very nice. Some differences between Germany and Sweden are very small, but some are pretty big. And some I expected, some not so much. And some differences I really, really love. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.